I have complained before. In fact, the reason I first came onto YouTube was to complain that men are not asking women out on dates. And that's why I started with how we as women can drop the hanky, because we are not passive agents in this. We are able to also do our bit. But now I actually want to share. So I asked the women on my Instagram how they would like to be asked out, because maybe this will help guys to be encouraged and to shoot their shot and to just do more to try and date more. Like, I have decided myself that next month I am going to go on dates. I don't know how I'm going to make this happen, but I am. I will just have to drop the hanky a little bit more. And that is actually a video I'm going to be doing about how we can get dates without going on apps, because maybe I am being stubborn or maybe I'm being stupid, but I'm refusing to go on any dating apps right now. So I really want to embrace the meet cute, embrace real life, embrace organic. Anyway, so this is what the women said to me. Be direct. You know, just say, like, I'd love to get to know you more. Shall we grab a coffee or something? And that came up a lot as well. So having this really like no pressure first kind of date, a lot of women said, you know, ask me for a walk or ask me out for a coffee. It doesn't need to be full on dinner or anything like that. It can just be like, hey, can we grab a coffee after mass? Dreamy. Or, you know, like, can we just go for do you want to go for a quick walk? Or actually, maybe don't say the word quick, because that sounds, that's like, should we go for this really brisk walk? No, but you know, like, just can we go for a walk? Or is there anywhere that you'd like to see? Especially now it's like summer. In the warmer months, going out for a walk is so nice. And yes, I might be biased because I have a dog, so I go for walks 3 times a day. But it's just such a good way. I feel like when I'm moving, there's less pressure, there's less of this kind of awkwardness. And also, you know, it is hard to maintain eye contact with someone that you've only just met or you've only just, you know, had a one-to-one with now. So walking like alleviates that pressure, because you're walking side by side, you have other things going on, so you can talk about them, like, oh wow, look how cute that dog is, or like, oh, look at that family, so cute, or like, that's such a beautiful view, or that fountain's nice, whatever you want to say. And most parks and things have cafes, so you can also pick up a coffee, so you can do both. And it's just a really nice low pressure way of getting to know someone. So don't be afraid to ask a woman out, you know, for a walk in her area. You know, you could say like, where suits you? That's also another thing that women said, you know, like going that extra mile of being like, I would really like to get to know you. You know, whereabouts is easy for you to get to, and I'd love to meet you and take you for a coffee, or I'd love to go for a walk and get to know you a bit better. The caveat for this is, one woman said to me, if you're already friends, then the man should ask you out for dinner, because then that's a little bit more intentional and it feels more like a date, because it can be really confusing when you're already friends. If the guy's like, hey, do you want to hang out? And you're like, yeah, like we do that anyway. So it has to be really clear, especially if you're friends first. And I think the word dinner, like, there is just no way I'm going to misconstrue dinner with a man as not being a date. So definitely, if you're on that level and you want to level up, ask her out for dinner. And if you already know her, but you don't know her super well, but you know her enough to be like, we're mutually interested in photography or Catholicism or pickleball, whatever it is, you know, like raise that and say, hey, I know that you're really into padel. I always get padel and pickleball mixed up, and apparently my neighbor said that pickleball is like tennis for old people, but I think it sounds really cute, and my sister wants to play padel. Anyway, all these are just for an example, but you know, it's like, hey, I know that you mentioned you're into pickleball or padel, and you know, I found this really cool club that does a padel, you know, tournament once a week. Would you like to check it out with me? I don't know. This example is going weird because it's quite specific, but you know, like, it's just really nice because A, that shows that he has been listening to you, and I don't know why I said he, because I'm probably talking to men here, aren't I? A, it shows that you have been listening to us, that you've kind of been mentally noting, oh, she's interested in this, oh, she's a table tennis fan, oh, she's really into football, oh, she's really into theatre, whatever it is, and that you have thought up this idea, which is like a mutual interest. It shows that we have that shared connection. So that's really nice as well. And Again, that can be a good way to level up if you've met this person a few times, but you'd like to see them in a different setting, especially if you often see them at parties or in bigger kind of social events. One woman did say that they like being asked out by text because they feel a bit safer. It gives them the wiggle room to be able to say no if they feel like that. However, she did then caveat, but in person is always best. And I would also argue that it is a really good skill for all of us to know how to say yes when we mean yes and no when we mean no, and how to say both of those well. Because there is an art to saying no. You can, reject or decline a date without really breaking someone, without hurting their confidence. You can do it in a really kind and generous way. So I think if you're able to be courageous enough to, deliver that, but also to receive that, an in-person ask is always going to be more genuine and hopefully get you the answer that you want. My last point is from a lady who said, please have clear intention. Just ask me for my number. Hey, I saw that we go to the same church. I'd love to get to know you more. Could I take your number? Fine. And then she also said, and please do not just text me back and forth for weeks and weeks and weeks. Let's move this into real life and, into an actual date. And I think that's a really good point as well, because I do think there is a temptation to keep things online because we get that same dopamine hit when we're messaging someone or voice noting them, and it can just prolong the discernment process. God doesn't want us to date a million people. God only wants us to marry one person. So the dating game in general, it shouldn't really be a game. The dating process, I should say, should just be this quite quick process of discernment. Are we aligned on values? Do we share the same faith? Do we share the same vision for our lives? Do we share the same dreams for our future family? And all these kind of checkpoints help us to really discern if continuing with this person is worth it. Because ultimately, until we're married, we could potentially be going on dates with someone else's future wife or husband. And so you want to treat that with the utmost respect, including respect for their time. So don't prolong it, just go on a date and see how you guys get on. Okay, I hope that's been helpful. I feel like I've been very rambly today, but I will speak to you guys soon.